Everyone is dunking on PlayStation 5 Pro right now for its $700 price tag and the minimal upgrades. Honestly, I'm not at all surprised. 700 clams? You don't need me to tell you that consoles aren't what they used to be. Consider this. PlayStation 4 came out 12 years ago. PlayStation 3 came out almost 20 years ago. Consoles used to be something exclusively for gaming, but nowadays they're almost like a replacement for PC and media devices. Back in the day, you needed to jailbreak to get more functionality out of your console, but today everything's at your fingertips. The price tag represents a very significant shift in the consoles industry. To understand that shift, we need to look at a few things: obsession with graphics, the great replacement, and the lack of exclusivity. Titles take years to make, and there are massive gaps between each iteration. As much as I hate to say this, when Sega and Nintendo were competing back in the 80s and 90s, Sega was positioning their Genesis console as the superior console in terms of hardware. When concerns were raised, Nintendo stuck with the quality of the game rather than the superior hardware or better graphics. They absolutely crushed it with Super Mario World and SNES. Graphics is definitely a key metric for consoles, but when they're prioritized above the quality and replayability of the game, that's when you see problems arising. We need companies to focus on the playable content and the longevity of the game, rather than worry about ray tracing or shadows or reflections. I remember the good old days when developers used to have to develop genius techniques to play heavier titles on low-end hardware. Now a game comes out and it's like, oh, you need 200 gigs to play it. If that's not enough, the DLCs, seasons, and all other post-game sales are just ridiculous. I saw Dead or Alive 5 was free to play for my PSN account. I downloaded the game only to find out there's only one playable character. You have to purchase the rest of the characters and some of the modes as well. In terms of the great replacement, in the early age of modern consoles, they were designed for one purpose from the ground up. Your PC was a workstation which happened to play games. With time, PC's catalog grew drastically. The performance of the components, the quality of the titles, and the vast number of choices to choose from definitely affected the consoles. To compete, consoles tried to do the same. PlayStation 2 had Toshiba Emotion Engine, the hardware and the architecture specifically designed for PlayStation 2. PlayStation 3 had PowerPC hardware inside. Again, the architecture focused on performance. Suddenly, you didn't need a console anymore. As a result, PlayStation 4 featured more mainstream hardware. It was from AMD. And PlayStation 5 is even more similar to a PC, featuring AMD hardware again. To sum up, consoles tried to replace PC while getting exclusive titles. Speaking of exclusive titles, that brings us to our last point. There used to be so many exclusives that you couldn't get anywhere else, but these days we only get a handful of exclusives. Sony is now bringing its older titles to PC, but why? I mean, why not? Why would you limit the sales of your game to a specific audience? Why wouldn't you want more customers to buy? Given how the architectures are getting similar, it's comparatively easier to port them to PC. When you consider all these things and how PlayStation 5 Pro is trying to be everything while competing with a 4K gaming PC with ray tracing, yeah, it makes sense. It doesn't justify it, but I can see their reasoning. Also, the separate Blu-ray drive and the stand are just scummy things to do. If you're looking to buy a PlayStation 5, buy an older one in a good condition. And yeah, that's it. I thought I'd do a detailed deep dive. Thanks for your support, guys. Please like and subscribe because...
I'm alone.
This is Rogue Hat. Catch you guys later.